Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's session on finding better leads with AI. I am Arpita Mukherjee, a part of the marketing team at Jeeva AI, and I'll be your host today. We are all thrilled to have you here. For the next few minutes, we'll go behind the scenes of how teams are actually using agentic AI to transform their prospecting, their outreach, and everything. And to walk us through this journey, we have someone who lives and breathes this vision, Gaurav Bhattacharya, the CEO and co-founder of Jeeva AI. So without further ado, let's dive in. Gaurav, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining the webinar today. We appreciate your time and the opportunity to connect today. Just a quick poll. Can I get a quick thumbs up if you guys can hear me okay? If everyone can hear me all right, if my audio is good. Okay, I see a couple of people. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. All right, let's roll in. Let's dive in then. So today, like the session we wanted to build was, we wanted to make it such that it could be very educative and people can actually use some of the stuff that we do. So the goal for the call today for me is to actually go in and use some of the stuff that we do and how we do it and how we do lead gen and what we do. One of the things that, as being the founder and CEO of Jeeva AI, the benefit that we get about it is we're really good at lead generation, demand generation, and that's kind of we're always at the cutting edge of what's working, what's not working in the market. So having said that, let me dive in. We wanted to kind of walk you through some stuff that we prepared for you today. So I am new to Zoho recordings, by the way. So in case it doesn't work, just let me know. But I'm hoping that you guys can see my screen okay. And the premise is today what we want to show you guys is like what does lead generation mean, and what does like writing good emails mean? How do we find good data and good people? It could be for B2B prospecting or for B2B prospecting. But at Jeeva AI, our vision is that anything that doesn't require deep human connection, like us connecting right now, strategic thinking or brainstorming, we don't think AI is really good at that. But manual repetitive work can be done better, faster, cheaper with AI. So that's the premise of kind of like what we want to focus on today, is like showing you what are some of the manual repetitive tasks that we can do in order to do better lead generation and use that data to be able and use AI to be able to get really good at this without losing the human touch. And then also as people, we want to spend our majority of our time having great discovery calls and demos and having like negotiations and great like closing calls with customers. So the focus is on closing and not chasing. And that's kind of what we want to focus on today. But why lead generation needs a reset? So I think what we have seen is like there's a few fundamental flaws that are there about in lead generation. We also want to focus on decoding signals that reveal genuine buying interest. And we want to leverage intelligence systems to identify high potential prospects and then also be able to do hyper personalization and scales. So that's kind of what we'd be focusing on today. And then some of the stuff I want to do, and maybe what I'll do is I'll kind of share this like beforehand as well. Let me go in and put this here. Give me 1 second. So let's go back to the webinar. All right. So how do I post here? Okay, chat. So what I wanted to do is like put these 3 presentations that I'm going to show here. Just if anyone wants to just look at it. Let's do anyone with the link. Perfect. So I'm going to throw this in there. So this is like our internal stuff. So basically, like everything that we do on how lead generation works. So this is the deck for today. If you could see it, this is like how you build like a fully autonomous. And I'm going to go through all of these things here, but I want to make sure that I put everything that we do, all the prompts that we use, all the best practices, free of cost. Obviously, like no clickbaits here. We want to give you as much value as possible today, so you guys can take a look at it. But the goal for the call I wanted to show you guys was, what do we do internally and how it works? And then obviously we'd love to show it how you can automate it at scale. So that's kind of what we want to talk about today. But if I go into here and I want to start with like what lead generation means and what we focus on, let's do a quick poll. You guys want to open a quick poll, Arpita? We want to just get a quick feedback on what is the biggest challenge in lead gen? Is it finding good leads, good data? Is it accurate contact information, low reply rates, or is it just scaling outreach efficiently? So I'll keep going, and then let's come back to it. Then you guys can tell me like when the poll is ready. I want to find out like where are we at and how we're doing here. The first thing I want to jump into is like some of the uses or key benefits of how we use AI is basically, and I've created this deck, as you can see, this is one of my decks here, and I call it the 3 big prompts. And basically what I want to show you is a detailed prompt on how you can find your ideal customer profile. And what I want to show you guys is that we actually want to go above and beyond and go deeper into like how we find leads and how we find data. So let me show you. So I want to do a quick like ChatGPT search here as an example. Let's do a quick search about myself. So I also like using Perplexity for this. Perplexity does a really good job on finding people, but now ChatGPT also has real-time search. But some of the stuff that you could do, and this is like some of the stuff that I want to do, is like you could copy paste this prompt and you're basically trying to create like, what is my ideal customer profile and what are some key characteristics about my ideal customer profile, right? So you should be able to kind of copy paste this prompt and like really nail what your ICP looks like. So let's say for me, it's like I am the CEO of Jeeva AI, right? So I'm just going to do this. And obviously you can use a better model. I'm just going to use a fast model for you guys to kind of show you this. And then basically like what Jeeva AI does, I'm just going to do like a really quick kind of version of Jeeva AI. It basically helps you find leads with AI, and then basically like helps you write better personalized emails, and then AI CRM like features to manage everything. And you can copy paste this prompt, and obviously you guys can make tweak to this, but I wanted to show you some examples of like how we can like go deeper into the use of AI and as it's doing. And then Arpita, do we have the poll results? What are we seeing? What are the poll results?
The poll result is 68% people have voted for finding qualified leads. So that is something we need to talk about.
Okay, and what's the second one?
All of the next 3 have similar votes, so that
okay,
all of them are on par. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, finding qualified leads.
Yeah, totally. So as you guys can see, like basically what this did for me is create like a really good persona map. And this is extremely important even before you guys create like the leads and you want to go after. What you want to do is create like an ideal customer profile persona map. This is extremely important for you to understand what are some of the characteristics of the folks that you're going after. And then once you have this, the other thing that you can do is basically like I like to use this, and I call this the playoff prompt. And GPT is really good at this. One of the things that a lot of these salespeople and sales leaders and even like BD and founders, they always ask me like, what is the best use of AI? And I don't think the best use of AI is in finding leads, but it's actually defining your ideal customer profile and what does your ICP look like. But then after that, once you have a basic lead list, and you can get a basic lead list from a tool like Apollo or ZoomInfo or Clay, and obviously I would love to show you at the end what Jeeva AI does, but then you can enrich that really good lead list and then find as much information about this person as possible. So I want to show you a real example. I was on Nathan Latka's podcast recently. He's a very prominent player in the SaaS space, and I sent him a cold email which he responded to. And the way that I did this was I really nailed the ICP, and then I asked basically like, okay, find as much information about Nathan Latka, SaaS founder and VC founder, and talk about his deals, his companies, his background, interests, right? Let's do talk about his company, etc. Right? So again, like this could be a better prompt, but I just want to show you like a quick example that now GPT and these guys are really good at. We use Perplexity, but a really good use case would be, imagine you would wake up every morning and then AI would actually do deep research on like every single person that you're about to reach out to. So you could see like, I got a lot of good information about Nathan Latka in this thread. So I have information about what he does, what he's good at, what he's not good at. Now, these are some information that can really help me craft like a personalized outreach at scale for him. Another thing I wanted to show you guys today is one of the things that we use internally here. We call it the playoff method for email creation. Now, basically what this means is that you're asking ChatGPT to almost do like a playoff version to create like different rounds of email sequences and then pit them against each other. So it's using a reasoning model to then figure out what is the best kind of like email sequence that's going to work for you. So here's a prompt that I have. So I'm just going to copy paste this here and I'm going to show you. I'm going to reduce the playoff. I usually like to do it at 32. So I'm just going to tweak it, and let's copy this. And then I'll say your demand gen leader, again, like you're at Jeeva AI, for example. And then you're doing a target buyer, your company. So I think I already have this above. So I'm going to skip this. Characteristics, I'll say characteristics of a target buyer. I'll just say, please see ICP above, right? The ideal customer profile above. And then instead of 32, let me just do create, what would be, let's do 10, right? 32, 16, 8. Let's do 8. And I'm just going to replace the 32 with 8s here. So this would, and blah, blah, blah. So, and let's just change 32 to 8. Okay. So this is a really, really cool way of like finding like winning sequences. So basically what this is doing is it's going to create like 8 sets of sequences for me. So 24 emails is an example. And then what it's going to do is it's going to pit it against each other. So let's do yes. Please continue. Okay. And that's the premise of like doing this, right? So it's basically going to create like 8 sequences for me, but in reality, you can actually create it like a 32 step of sequences. So yeah, so let's continue. I don't know why it's asking me like to keep going, but this is like a really cool example of like how to find really good winning sequences to be able to figure out like how you're able to create really good, basically understanding of like what the best lead is, what the best research is, and at the end, like what the best prompt would be. And one of the things that I've added here, I'm not going to go through this, but I've put together inside the company. Now we have put we've open sourced like our entire architecture of how we build these automated AI lead generation systems, everything from finding good data, what the backend should be, what the front end should be, what different tools are. Now, all of this can be built by using tools like N8N, or there's another tool called Crew AI, or we have built this at Jeeva AI so that if you don't want to code or if you don't want to set up these complex systems, that's exactly what we do. Is like everything that I'm showing you on the back end, like finding good data, enriching it with research, and then doing personalized outreach. We do this on the front end, and you can use this playbook. This is completely open sourced, no fluff here. We've put this together for you guys to kind of get a lot of value out of this, and it's only going to be shared with the folks who joined the call today, and not going to be made available for people who are joining from outside. But you can see it's like 27 pages. It talks about the entire architecture, what's needed to build these autonomous sales development engines to find leads, enrich data, do personalized outreach. But the long story short, what I wanted to tell you was like the focus is on how do we find good data, how do we enrich it with personalized research, and then how can we use it to find qualified leads and do personalized outreach at scale. So as you can see, this is what it's doing. It's kind of like creating, different sequences for me, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So 8 sequences. And then it's actually like doing research on what will win against what. So it took the round of 8, it got 4 winners. Then it did the round of 4, got 2 winners. And then A versus H, and then feels like I have a winner. So sequence A is the winner. And basically what it looks like, let's go and read sequence A. So sequence A basically talked about like value, right? This is kind of what it's talking about. What's the proof? What's the nudge? So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to copy sequence A. And then basically what I'm saying is use this to create a hyper personalized email on my behalf to Nathan Latka above, using deep research on him like you did. So that's like the next concept of like, now obviously this is all manual, takes a lot of time and effort. All of this could be automated, but this would be kind of like a sequence that it would write based on doing deep research on my ideal customer profile, then using the playoff prompt, and then also using deep research on Nathan Latka. And this could be like the first email, like obviously it's only written the first one. I want to say it should write the next three as well. But here's what it's talking about, right? So your team might be losing 4 hours per day to menial work. So it's talking about loss aversion techniques, right? That's why this worked, because in fundamental in sales copy, as we write good sales copy, it's very important that we use some psychological examples and don't sound too salesy. What we have seen is that using psychology of influence, there's a book that I love in sales. It's called Predictably Irrational, and it talks about that loss aversion, or that people might be losing stuff is more valuable for them than gaining stuff. So sometimes if I'm pitching Jeeva AI and I'm pitching like, hey, is it better for you to grow revenue by 300% versus never lose a deal to a competitor again, or never lose your biggest deal again, or never miss your quota again, is almost better than saying that 2x your quota or 3x your quota. So it's really simple, but as you can see, it's talking about, Nathan, you might be losing 4 hours per day to menial work. Follow your journey since Heyo, top founder paths. It's doing very personalization of where this person has been, using the language that they speak. This is what it's talking about. I'm not going to go through the deck, but it's basically telling you how you can reclaim 20 plus hours per rep per week. So imagine like the sequences we wrote. I bet there were sequences that talked about more value, more revenue, or talked about gains, but this is the stuff that GPT confirms would perform better. And that's kind of what we want, is like a simple, concise, hyper-personalized sequences. And that's like the best way to getting really, really good lead gen going. And I feel that's like the benefit of like using AI, is like, instead of like reducing like time drain, low conversion, guesswork outreach, having all these manual bottlenecks that people face, what we want to do is like the focus is going to be from quantity to quality. Because when we are sending these sequences, or when we're doing outreach anymore, quantity doesn't work at all, because people are getting thousands of emails in their inboxes. If you're sending 10,000 spam emails, or even the deliverabilities can now, right? So if you use anything like Google Workspaces or Microsoft to send emails, all of these have spam protectors, spam blockers. If you have the same copy, generic messaging, you're doing mass outreach, it's not going through anymore. So what is working is like, it's quality, it's AI driven, it's how do we hyper personalize things, how do we find the right people at the right time, and then look at the intent, look at like demographics, do active research on them, look at signals in the market that could really help us understand who we should go after, who we shouldn't go after. And that's like the best way of like using AI to do better lead gen. Now, having said this, obviously we would love for you guys to build your own agents. And if you do, all power to you. We're here to help you. But this is exactly what we've done at Jeeva AI. What we've done with agents is, this is like a quick demo of Jeeva AI, but we've built this in natural language. We've built in a way that you can show up in the morning and you can say, I want to find VPs of sales in San Francisco and Los Angeles who are in finance with more than 5,000 employees. And so having said that, like we've built this in like all NLP, so that you can come in, you can basically search for in natural language. Obviously, we have tons of different workflows that kind of fit your ideal customer profile. Everything from how do you find good leads, how do you upload and enrich your data so you can find anyone's emails or cell phone numbers, how do you also do like, how do you find really good companies, how do you find companies by technology? So if there's like vendors that are using SAP as an example, but there's tons of workflows that it's customized for, it's built already. But as you can see, the AI is built in a way that it's now going in and it's kind of like helping you find really good data, really good leads in your target market, in the industry that you want to go after. And then you can enrich this data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, I want to find everyone's work emails here. So now what we do is, for finding work emails, we work with 10 different API providers. So if you get a subscription to Jeeva AI, then you get access to 10 plus data sources, right? So we're looking at Lead Magic, then Find Email, then Prospeo, and we're basically going one by one, and you don't get to pay a lot. Basically, you only pay for one service. And this way you get the best data, best cell phone numbers, you get the best leads. And then I can also use the AI agent to basically find trigger points or signals that can really help me understand whether this could be a good fit customer or not. So let's say if I was an HR recruiter, I want to, and I place like VPs of sales, for example, then I can say like, find which companies have regional VP sales positions open for hiring, or in the past 3 months, right? Actually, this can actually go really specific, guys. So I'm gonna make this like less generic. I'll say find all job positions open in the last year with SAP title in the job. This is a real query from one of our customers who's basically selling SAP services, and they want to find like if they're hiring for SAP jobs. So basically it's like very specific queries, and this is exactly like some of the stuff that I was showing you, but it's built in a way that once I run this, right, the premise is that it's gonna get queued for me. It's gonna go find the right work emails. It's gonna start finding cell phones for me. It's gonna use AI to then find some of this enrichment data. And obviously it's going to be a little bit slower than getting data off of a Zoom info, but the premise is that, hey, you get good quality leads, you get real-time results, and basically that's what it looks for. So it's like, now as you can see, once the prompts is running, like it's really fast, right? It's going through all the emails for me. It's kind of finding like cell phones for me. It's finding emails for me, right? So I'm kind of like getting a really good list here for everyone who I want to reach out to. And then if you can see, like it's actually even finding like which job openings have SAP in the title. So let's see. So JP Morgan Chase has several job openings, including principal architect, SAP applications architecture, right? Like software engineer 3 for SAP. So as you can see, like we're even like going to show you all the sources where this data is going to come from. So this is like the benefit of using an AI system. Now, once you have this, you can then also do hyper-personalized automation at scale. So I'm going to create a net new campaign here. And this is exactly what I was showing you, some of the best practices on how to find the best email sequence now, how to find the best prompt. So all of this is on our backend already, but I'll do a test automation. Let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then basically what the test automation would do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to put in information about my company. So let me do this in real time. I'm going to create a new template. I'm going to fill in from the website. I'm going to pick a new kind of website right now. Let's do Slack as an example. I don't know if it's slack.com, but I'm just going to do slack.com as an example. So let's say if I was pitching Slack, right, to these people, then what we're going to do is we're going to basically scrape information about Slack, like what do you do, what are some pain points, what are some value proposition, what are some proof points that you're focused on, right? What are some kind of like different email sequences that might have worked. So you're kind of training the AI to, right, like feed information about your company, about your business, and then it's going to go in and create like a personalized outreach sequence. Again, it's using me as the lead default. So this is the sequence it came up with, is basically like, hey, congrats on being ranked product of the week. So it's taking recent news about me. Basically, it's personalizing the details, writing a very simple, concise subject line, very simple, concise email. And I can do a multi-step threaded sequence. So I can write a first LinkedIn message, pause for a few days, send a first personalized email, pause for a few days, send a second personalized email. And this basically would be an entire like sequence thread that I could build from scratch using AI, right? And then we have tons of templates. You can write in different tonalities and sequences. But the premise is what you want to be doing is when you're sending outreach sequences. So if I go in and look at my outbox here that's ready to go out for me, every time I see anyone, so for example, this is the person I'm reaching out to, the AI should be able to go in and do research on their general role, their experience, look at any podcasts or webinars they've been on, look at what awards they have, what interests they have, what is their copy style, what's their persona, exactly what I was showing you in the beginning for Nathan Latka. This is what true personalization means. Now I'm going to use all of this information to craft that perfect LinkedIn message, that perfect outreach sequence. And that's what is needed to do really good quality lead generation. It's like, how do we go beyond these generic sources like a Zoom info? How do we find the right work emails and cell phones using waterfall enrichment? Then how do we get insights on signals using AI research, and then use that information in like hyper personalized activities and sequences that could basically hit the nail on the head. The last thing I want to show you guys, and then I'll stop talking. I feel like I've been blabbering on for 30 minutes straight. But what we do is we like to push all of this in your inbox. So if you work with Jeeva AI and you sign up for free for it, basically what we would do is we would label all the emails that you're sending and you're getting in the inbox. So you could kind of get rid of anything that's generic. you would wake up to Jeeva drafts every morning. So what we do is to improve deliverability rates. We don't send it because every time you send it through an API, your deliverability gets tanked by almost 90%. So we manually send it in your inbox. All you have to do is like edit, send, approve, edit, proofread, send, approve. You're able to send anywhere from like 300 to 500 emails, maybe even 1,000 emails a day, 7 days a week. But its deliverability is 90% better because you're sending it as a manual outreach here directly. We would also like show you everything that's action needed. So if someone responds to you, I would come in and AI would have responded to me. So for example, someone asked me a question, AI would have already have a response in my tonality for me. If there's a meeting, I can go back and forth and AI would be like, hey, this time doesn't work for me, or this is the time that works for me. Here's my calendar link. So it's actually going back and forth and really helping you like get meetings. It would even have like responses ready for you in your inbox, just so that you can automate some of that manual repetitive work you're doing. But that's the premise of like automated lead gen, automated demand gen. It's all about good quality leads, good quality data, using AI to do behavior tracking, getting signals, doing lead scoring, and then having like what is the right moment to reach out to someone, and then using very smart messaging, hyper personalization to kind of do outreach. So let me pause here. I know we have another poll here, so maybe I'll take a break and kind of figure out what you guys are using and maybe any other questions from the audience here. So let me pause here.
So basically the question was, are you currently using any AI tools for lead generation or sales? So the answer was yes, actively using AI based tools, and they are exploring as well. So I think Jeeva might be one of the tools that people should explore at this point.
For sure. Yeah, that's really good. Good to see that folks are already so ahead in terms of like doing leads. There's a question from the audience. I'm going to read it. Basically saying, after you see all this data on a person, is this up to date? How can you use real-time updates to update your ICP instead of relying on static data? Yeah, that's so true. I mean, the whole premise of using real-time data means that the emails you get, we even have an algorithm which pings the email in real time to make sure whether it bounces or not. So you want to find good data, good quality data, real-time data sources. So you're not reaching out to, I mean, I can't even imagine for my first startup, it's been like 7 years since we closed it. We sold it. We've never been active on it. I still get people saying, oh, I saw that you're working at this company and congratulations for all the success. I'm like, man, the company's not even been live for 7 years. And that makes me really sad because I know they're probably buying lead lists from somewhere that are very old and very static. And I think that's like the premise of like, that's like an instant way to, lose credibility, is basically talk about something that happened 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, and not have real-time data. So I truly agree with that. I think that's very good. BB was saying she's having technical difficulties. Screen went black. Okay, sounds good. I think no other questions here at this moment. All right, let me jump in. So just a couple of things that we want to wrap up with, and then we can give everyone some time back here. Are there any questions coming in, Arpita, or
yes,
what
yes.
should we do?
One of the questions that we have gotten is, how can a small sales team start using AI without a major setup?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I wanted to kind of show you guys like some of the best practices on like how people are doing this. That's why I wanted to show you like all the prompts. Again, ChatGPT is $20. Perplexity is $20 a month in the US here. I think it's even cheaper in India. And then there's like the premise of what I wanted to talk about is like, it's actually really easy or cheap to start these days. We don't need a massive setup, or people don't need a lot of effort. Even Jeeva subscription, you can, for a sales team, you can start as low as $12,000 a year. But obviously for an individual person or a rep, it's like $50, $100 subscriptions, which includes everything from finding leads, enriching data. I think so short answer is, I think there's tons of tools out there. You don't need like a lot of like hundreds and thousands of dollars of like really intelligence, like 6 Sense kind of solution, or Zoom Info Intent kind of solution. You can start with something like a Jeeva AI, or even start something like ChatGPT and Perplexity to find good leads and rich data. It'll just be a little bit more manual work. Or you can use tools like N8N or Crew AI and build your own agents. Kind of like, we've given you the architecture. You can copy paste this and try to build your own agent too. And a lot of people love doing that. And that could be a good opportunity too. Thanks, Arpita. It's a great question. Anything else?
Yes, we have some more questions coming in. That how does intent data differ from basic website analytics? or CRM scoring?
Yeah, sure. So I think intent data kind of walks you through some signals, right? So we were talking about like different signals about the person. We have the ability to take a look at like what do we focus on? What is important for that person? So let's see if I can go back into the lead list that I had built before. But the signals could be everything from like what is happening in their environment, the industry that make them like a better buyer. So as an example, if I add some signals here, it could be like whether they have a job change, whether there's active promotions, any kind of trigger events, mergers and acquisitions, fundraising could be a trigger event, right? That's like if they're hiring for a new role, could be a trigger event or news that they're looking for. We're also going to work with intent in the future, so we're pulling intent. The other more static signals could be very exciting as well, but we have this feature called inbound, where it's 4 lines of code you can install in your website, and every single morning you wake up, we'll try to reverse engineer who's coming to your website in real time. So you can see like, hey, who's coming, how much time are they spending, do I have like good quality leads coming back to my website, are they checking us out, what is interesting for them. So I can kind of see like, are there people who are in the industry who might be looking, who are coming back to my website that I should be reaching out to. So you could do personalized sequences to them. So there's like differences between active prospecting and dynamic. That both are very important, and I think those are some of the top signals or intent keywords that we kind of look out for and that we see in the industry as well. All right. Is there anything else here?
Yes, we have one more question coming in, that is how to get the link to the AI-driven lead to Google Doc.
Oh yeah. So I did put it there. Let me. Is this the one? So let's put all the links back here, and then maybe we can email them out to you, right, to the folks who did join today. So let's do that. Yeah, Chad. I definitely feel that Jeeva is better than, has better buy intent than ZoomInfo. Especially because we're using so many different tools and techniques, right? And ZoomInfo has their own database, which they work very hard on, but the premise is we have waterfall enrichment that we can use to kind of get good insights outside the platform as well. So that's what I wanted to show today. I put the Google Doc on. Let me put the prompts templates as well, so you guys can use that, copy paste it, and it could be useful here. So let's do it. I hope everyone has access. Thoughts on Apollo. It's kind of weird with Apollo. We compete with Apollo. We also use Apollo's API. So we feel that Jeeva AI could be better, but I feel like Apollo is still like a database or a quote unquote database. I think the new gen tools, AI gen tools, are basically Clay or Jeeva AI, right? That's like, those would be like the two ones that I would say are more AI enabled. And then you're saying, do you need LinkedIn Premium and ZoomInfo? No, you don't need LinkedIn Premium. You also don't need ZoomInfo to make Jeeva AI work for you. How do I get linked to the Google Doc? Okay, so we're using Jeeva AI. I can say this is the best tool, but in terms of enriching data, I found better tools, but not for validation. Any comments on this? Yeah, that's a really good question, Ashok. Thanks for using Jeeva. I appreciate it. Thank you for being a customer. I will definitely want to talk to you and figure out like what can we do better, and which tool did you find that was better for email validation? We actually added validation as well now. So when you do search for leads, you can add validation as well. So that's something. I think we use 4 or 5 different data sources, right? Like never bounce. Let me actually check in real time and show you. Thanks for that question. Oops. Show my screen again. Still trying to get around the Zoho platform. I've not used this before. Even though the button is like right in the center for share for always, I still struggle with it. I don't know why. So let me show you. So if I go in and kind of like, so we were finding emails, right? So if I go back in, if I have to like go and find people's work emails, then we also have like validation now. So we have 4 or 5 different validation providers, everything from Enrichly, Enro, Zero Bounce, Never Bounce, Debounce. So, and again, you don't need subscriptions to any of these. We subscribe to these, you can use these, and then we also help you validate the email addresses that you're finding in real time. So we just added that, so I hope this would be better. But sorry for your bad experience, and if there's anything we can do better, just reach out to me directly. Again, and we're gonna share emails and notes after this, but my email is very simple. It's G, just a letter G at jeeva.ai, g@jeeva.ai. I'm very responsive. I respond to every single email, so you guys can email me directly there. But let's go back, see if there's anything else. Which book did you recommend? Yeah, it's Predictably Irrational. It's an awesome book, man. It's like one of my favorite sales books on Jeeva. So if you read it, I think you'll love it. I'll put it here. It's predictably irrational. And I don't know if it's predictable irrational, but I think it's predictably irrational. Basically, it talks about a few core concepts of the human mind and why people do anything, right? If you think about it from the history of time, a lot of people go in wars and they die for their country, and it's patriotism, but it's predictably irrational in a way. Like, why would someone risk their life with no monetary returns or any kind of returns for themselves, right? So long story short, it talks a lot about how people take action, why do they do anything, why do they do good things and bad things, and then it takes like some of those fundamental principles to help you either be better at sales or also like to de-risk you against some of these manipulation techniques. It talks a lot about price anchoring, it talks about the power of free, it talks about fear of missing out, talks about loss aversion, social proof. There's a lot of these fundamental psychological concepts that it makes it like the best freaking sales book in the world. I feel when I was starting sales, it was a predictable revenue by this guy called Aaron Ross, which talked all about pipelines and lead generation, and then predictably irrational. Those were like my two favorite books. I feel like I've learned so much from it. Part 2 from Best Workflow with GHL, N8N, Jeeva, LinkedIn, DM automation. That's awesome. That's awesome, Chad. Feels like you use so many tools. That's pretty cool. Emailing you today. This has been the best lead generation software I've used. Thanks, Wally. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Thank you so much. I really value that. All right. Share that you need the click button, Peter. High Performer AI. Oh, cool. High Performer AI. All right, man. I'll take a look at this, Ashok. Thanks for sharing. So it sounds like this has better data. Team, if you want to take a look at it, this looks super cool. I'm gonna do this. Thanks again for sharing. Sweet, tons of questions. Please share the book link. Okay, yeah, trial to test data. Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, guys, you guys can go in and sign up for a free trial as well, or obviously we'd love to do a demo for your sales teams as well. Let me find like a special link. 1 second, so you guys can go sign up for free, and I'll open like a free 30-day trial as well. So if you guys want to jump in there, play with it, it's like almost $100 worth of value. I just put in the link for just if you guys want to sign up. This link has like a 30-day free trial that you guys can use, worth $100 if you want to. I'm interviewing Chad's like, I'm interviewing Zoom info. All right, man. Just let us know how it goes, and hope it goes well. Sweet. I think this is it. I think I have a bunch of marketing jargon after this, so I'm just gonna skip all that and just give you guys some time back, and looking forward to it. I think my team will hate me if I don't let the last poll get answered. So we'll open that, and then we'll kind of call it a close. Go ahead, Arpita, if you want to open that as well.
The last poll is live. Yes.
Sweet.
The last poll is: would you like to get a personalized walkthrough of Jeeva AI? And we can see a lot of people voting yes, we want a session with Jeeva AI. So it's great to hear. Also, G, do you have any ending notes here?
No, let me stop sharing 1 second. How do I stop sharing? Am I sharing my screen? No, right?
No.
Oh, okay, perfect. I thought I was still sharing my screen. Okay. No, I thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It was a pleasure. How do we book a demo again? Perfect. Chris, we'll reach out to you. We'll reach out to everyone for a demo link, also free trial link. But thank you for joining, and really appreciate the opportunity. We'll give you guys some time back, and I hope you have a beautiful day for the rest of the day today. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining.